Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if you're new. I'm Souls, and today we are returning to Parcel Simulator. So much fun, and I really appreciate the time and effort put into this game. They did recently do a hot fix. It's supposed to fix the rare occasion that sometimes you would get parcels incorrectly stickered through the automation process. Apparently it was a real pill for them to fix it, but they believe it's finally done. Also, they fixed the bridge conveyors to be a little bit more friendly and easier going for the parcels to move through the warehouse. So we'll try out those changes today. I personally hadn't seen too much of the incorrect parcel. I think I saw one earlier in our play, but I haven't seen it since, so I wasn't really all that concerned about it, but apparently it is quite the problem with the community, so I'm glad they fixed it. If you would, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It does help me out, and I appreciate the support. A big thank you to everybody who has already done it. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you taking a look at my videos. The other problem I faced last time in this game was this particular rack situation. I wasn't entirely sure how to fix this. I want everything to go into these racks, obviously, and be held until they're ready to go, but I was having an issue with them going and actually stacking up, specifically the middle rack, I guess. Stuff wasn't going there and setting up. I did get this one conveyor that's supposed to split parcels into different channels, utilizing the ones that are least used. So I believe that has helped. However, I still have the problem here of, they need to come off of this pallet and join the regular line when it is time to send out air parcels. So I don't really know how to fix it. If anybody in the comments would be so kind and let me know if they've had any experience with working with these particular shelves and how they make it work into their bays, I would appreciate that. I think I may try one thing, and that is to pull these racks away from the walls and just move them over slightly, and then just do one line that completely comes off and into the bay. Maybe that'll work. I'm not sure. I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens, and then we can test it out in today's run. Let me try that. Worst that's gonna happen is it's not gonna work. Okay, I think this might work. I'm hoping it works. I moved the shelving away from the wall. I kind of set up this free conveyor system with the sorter in the middle. I've tried 3 parcels on it, and it does switch it to a rack that's empty. If I put this parcel on the belt, it'll move it along to an empty shelf where hopefully it loads. Watch, it makes a liar out of me now. It's really weird that it... Let me try a bigger parcel. Yeah, this little one got stuck. That was strange. There, it finally moved to this rack. I think this middle rack is full, so I'm not sure why it's still trying to put the parcel in that one. Very weird. But I still have a little bit of work to do on this back side to run the parcels down here to the pause conveyor, and that's where they'll hang out until they're ready to go. So I'm going to set this up really quick. There, I set that up, and oops, I have one backwards already. Go. And this will just line these up, queue these up, ready to go. The pause conveyor is paused. It cannot go in the chute then. I believe this might work. I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little skeptical about it, but we'll see if this actually moves correctly. Okay, I think I got it. Again, not entirely sure this is gonna work, but I am willing to give it a go. I bought way more pieces than I needed to, and I bought some pieces that weren't going to work. So I spent a little bit more money than I intended to spend, but you know what? Unless I know for sure, how else am I going to figure it out if I don't try different things? These pieces I'm sure I can reuse at some point. I'm not too concerned with that. I'm really hoping this works, though. In theory, the parcels will come down here and be sorted into a rack, whichever empty rack is available, and then be unloaded on this side, come through this system, and then down into the chute. I hope it works. Like I said, I'm not entirely certain it will, but I'm willing to give it a go. Actually, I'm going to test this line with this pallet of air parcels I have stacked here because I ran out of room. I'm going to have to do something similar with maritime. I was having the same issue with maritime, but I believe I can also make that work. However, maritime's a little bit more difficult for me to pull the racks out because I don't have as much room. They seem to get a ton of air parcels, and this makes me nervous because I already have all these parcels stacked up here. I have another day to go before air is available. So I'm a little bit concerned that I'm still going to run into the same problem. That rack appears to be full, so it's just waiting. The middle one is full. That parcel is waiting. This rack is not full. It doesn't do the best job at sorting them to an empty rack. Yeah, I foresee a few issues with this still. I may have to manually intervene a little bit. Gosh, that time stretch though between Friday and Wednesday for air, wow, is such a problem. At least for me. I don't know in your games if you have the same issues, but I certainly have these issues. What I'm gonna do is just put a bunch of these back on the parcels. On the pallet. I wanted to see how it worked. I mean, for the most part, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It may not be as bad as I think it's going to be. All right, I guess there's nothing left to do but see if this air parcel mess is gonna work. Why don't we start the day, see where this goes, and hope for the best? I'm a little concerned, not gonna lie. Nothing left to do though but try it. And if it fails, well, I'll have to rethink that structure. But if it works, then I've found a solution. I can tell that the bridge conveyor systems are 100% better. The hotfix that they did for it works very well. They do act like 3 separate belts, which is much smoother than what it was. It's a very nice change. Is the end of the day. We're just going through with the last of these parcels so they can get sorted into their appropriate place. I'm gonna check out my air down here. I think this so far has gone fairly smooth. It looks like everything's stacked up fairly decently. I still have this rack with some open space. I think the other two are pretty much full. Oh, this one still has 1 space on it, but I don't see any problems with it so far. When I put the air parcels through tomorrow, I will know for sure if it's a problem or if it isn't a problem. Oh my gosh, I was being silly. Today is Tuesday, so it is Maritime Day. I can't believe that I overlooked this, but my bad. What I'm going to do is unpause our conveyor, and I'm going to let all of our maritime go through. These pallets also have maritime on them. I had the maritime stacked on these couple pallets to make more room. I definitely would like that bigger storage rack, which I will change as soon as these parcels go out. Again, I don't seem to get as many maritime as I do air, and it is 1 day a week that these go out, and they just don't seem to stack up like the air parcels do. Either way, I'm still gonna get a bigger shelf to store the excess. Once again, I'm seeing that weird glitch where the parcel just bounces back and forth between the load offload. It's really weird that it does this, and this is now 3rd or 4th time I'm seeing this. I can correct it, but I mean, it should really work on its own. And I've got parcels backed up here ready to go, and this is causing disruption within the line. Now, if we look, the rest of the parcels going through are doing just fine. I had to step in and manually take that box and correct it. Very odd. I hope they take note of it. I did report that bug a while ago. I hope that they're working on a fix because, like I said, it's disruption in the line, and when you're going for automation, you want to intervene as little as possible. I believe I have maritime now figured out. I had this sorter set to maritime on this side, and maritime, of course, in the front. On this side, it's set to air. When the parcels come through here, if they're air, they'll go down this line. If they're maritime, they'll go straight ahead, or in theory, off to the right and be loaded into these racks. Just like on the air side, I have unloaders at the end of these 2 racks, a loader on this rack, so it can load and then offload onto the belt by the bay. No moving stuff over, no shifting of this line or anything. Again, in theory, I'm hoping it works. I'm going to test it out. I sent out everything that I could for Maritime today. They are completely gone. I paused the conveyor. I can't wait to get rid of all my air parcels tomorrow. Let's go ahead and sleep. I'll see how much money I spent today. I know I spent some money on some items I didn't need, but I don't know unless I try it out. I still made $29,000. I mean, that's not bad. Another small but important change that I did is take out the storage rack here by the truck bay. I don't need it. I only had it because before I had the automatic shipments, I liked that it would store stuff until I had the time to run down here and send out the shipment. But with automatic shipments, I don't really need that leeway time anymore. So I removed the rack, sold it, put in some extra conveyor belts that I had laying around. I had to buy 1, I think. And this line will just now completely go down to the truck bay, no rack, and be sent out once it hits 16. There should never be a backup on this line because it's going to send out at 16 no matter what. I love that about this, but again, for the other things that don't go every day, the pause conveyors are 100% needed. We are on Wednesday, day 38. I am going to send out my air parcels. I am so happy to get rid of these. That stretch between Friday and the next Wednesday to send out air is disgusting. I get so many stacked up parcels. I don't know if anybody else experiences that in their games, but I seem to have quite a few. I'm hoping with this new system that I created, it will be a little bit smoother. Only time will tell if that's going to work or not. I must say it's very satisfying to see all of these shelves empty and all of the air parcels gone. It's been such a thorn in my side the entire time I've played this game that the air parcels just seem to be so many. And it seemed to be that way from the beginning. It's just been a challenge to try to deal with it. But I'm just going to enjoy this moment for a minute, my completely empty shelves, and then we're going to start our Wednesday. All right, everyone, let's start our Wednesday. We'll get our parcels going. It is the end of our day 38. The rest of the parcels are coming in to get sorted and moved to where they need to go. Seems to have worked just fine as far as the air and the maritime were concerned. I didn't see problems down on either one of those ends, but I will inspect it a little closer and see if I do, in fact, have any issues. Maritime seem to have stacked up just fine. This front rack looks like it's full or almost full, maybe 1 spot left on it. Last but not least, I am going to buy tier 11 of our warehouse, which says upgrade your warehouse to access new licenses, additional items in the shop, and increase in pre-inspected parcels. Ooh, another bay is open. Let's see what this is. Air and maritime together. Interesting. This may become very useful. It also could be a very big problem. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what the future holds. I hope you enjoyed today's video on Parcel Simulator. Please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel if you would. It does actually help me, and I appreciate the support. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.